Alright, things are about to get stupid. Hey, welcome to the Troyan YouTube channel. So I reacted to Kings and Culprits, Feel the Love, and then Andy and Alex reacted to my reaction of Feel the Love. So now I am reacting to their reaction of my reaction. So this is Reactception. That's right, Reactception, where I react to a reaction. This might be a thing that I start doing. I might just do reactions of reactions. I kind of thought that'd be an interesting concept for a YouTube channel, but then didn't want to do it because I didn't want to ride off the coattails of someone necessarily. And that and also the potential to make fun of someone with reactception, and I wanted to keep things positive. But you know what? They were cool enough to react to my reaction. So, and I have so many requests to react to the reaction. So yeah, I'm going to do it. It's going to be fun. Spoilers. I have seen this already because I'm a guy who doesn't mind spoilers. I actually look up spoilers for movies that I haven't seen yet to see if the movie is worth my time. So I am going to watch it. Let's turn on the YouTube. Hey! And why isn't it full screen? Well, I'll tell you why. Because my laptop freaks out when it goes full screen. So we are going to do it like this. So yeah, unscripted, me reacting to their reaction. And for the sake of everyone at home, I have set this to the double speed. Why the double speed? Because, well, let's see. That's like 30 minutes. That's a long time. And if I react to a 30-minute video, then it's just going to get even longer. So for the sake of you at home, I am doing for you folks what I do when I listen to Joe Rogan. I double speed that baby because, look, I do have the attention span of 3 hours, but I don't have the time of 3 hours. Look, I'm really interested in your theory of geometric unity, Eric Weinstein, but I am so busy. Anyway, this is my reaction to reactions, reactception. Yeah, let's do it.
Hey guys, hope you're having a great day as well as a great life.
Random Tuesday video.
This is interesting stuff.
So, as you can see in the title, somebody reacted to our channel intro, which,
Feel the Love, the full song.
yeah, which, in case you guys don't know, is actually one of my songs, in a band of mine. So, I don't know, somebody messaged us on Facebook and was like, hey,
Someone did a reaction for your song. I don't know if you know.
Hello, what is up, Internet? Welcome to the Troyan YouTube channel. We are doing another rocker reaction. That's right. So, for first-time viewers of the Troyan YouTube channel, I'm Troyan. I am a rocker. I react to things.
all right.
Man, I really sound like that. I'm reacting to me. That's weird. Like, I was ready to react to them, but I wasn't ready to react to me. This is so stupid and silly.
Cool ass dude. Cool ass introduction.
I'm digging Captain America.
Already
He's got the shades.
Seems like a cool dude.
I'm fucking with it.
I'm in a class. Also, thank you for the kind words of saying I'm a cool-ass dude. I appreciate it. You guys are pretty cool, too. Okay, I'm going to try not to pause as often. BT dubs. One of the pieces of advice that I've read in many of the comments is that pausing the videos is bad. I am still going to be pausing the videos, largely due to YouTube copyright things. And also, in a conversation I had with these fine gentlemen, they actually recommended that I keep doing that because they appreciate my commentary. So I'm going to do that. But yeah, back to this. Haha, reactors, I am now reacting to you. You didn't see that coming, did you? Someone.
Haha, now we're reacting to you.
Yeah, bet you didn't see that coming. Hey, listen, we're quicker on the draw. This video is like an hour old.
Oh my gosh, dude.
And now I'm reacting
my thoughts
to
as
you
the song
reacting to
progresses.
me.
So, off the cuff, very loose reaction to Kings and Culprits, Feel the Love. Let's do it. So, right off the bat, these guys understand arrangement, understand the importance of when to scale back. The beginning, where you get that hey, it sounds very millennial. Maybe it's because, the voices are higher pitched, and it definitely sounds like kids making this music.
Kids making the music.
Whew, I think that's fair, man. I think I was young when I did this.
He just means young, but
Yeah, I mean, I easily was not drinking age. I feel like,
really?
yeah.
You released the song when we met, weren't you like 21?
Yeah, I might have released then, but I think
Oh, you wrote it before.
I recorded it and wrote it way before that.
I was under the impression that it was around the same.
Yeah, I just have a tendency to call everybody kids. I call my wife, who's older than me, a kid. That's just what I do. But generally, when it comes to music, people under 26 are often considered kids musically, at least in the circles I run in Nashville. They'll just say, oh, they're kids, which isn't a bad thing, but yeah, so wasn't meant to be a dig, just a comment and just a cultural thing.
I think it's okay, but
I
I was
think
all
it's
crazy
cool.
when
You think it's okay? I think it's cool how you've at least adopted a unique sound. Like, it's very clear that you're not stepping on anybody else's toes at all.
Well, I think a big portion of that is that I think a lot of people who are my age who listen to classic rock or have classic rock bands, if that's one of their influences, there's a ton of them that dismiss any modern music, which I think is to their detriment. Like, pull from cool classic rock stuff, but also creativity didn't end in the 70s. Like, it continued on, and so in that realm, like, just continue pulling from some of the other influences. Like, find the gems in any generation and grow from that.
And I wonder how that's gonna affect you.
So, just touching on that briefly, because spoilers when we get to my comments later on about how I tried to keep my classic rock influences pure. In my opinion, there is sort of a lineage of rock music that's easy to trace, where it's easy to trace, you know, Little Richard to the Beatles to Led Zeppelin, Led Zeppelin to Kiss, Kiss to Poison. But then once the '90s come in, it's a whole new era, and alternative rock sort of throughout the old guard. And whether or not that's for better or for worse, that is open to your interpretation of history and how you judge it. But I feel like there's a very like sharp and sudden divide of music like pre Nirvana's Nevermind and music post Nevermind. And so when I was talking later about how I wanted to keep my classic rock influences pure, I noticed that a lot of bands would mix in their Nirvana type influences with with the classic rock bands, and I didn't necessarily like the results. And so my idea for my band in particular was, what if we pretend that grunge didn't happen? And pretend it is 1993 and you are a new band and you are grabbing from the history of all previous decades. What would be the next step you'd take if just grunge didn't happen? And so that's what I did with the band, and my goal was to bring in elements of the 60s, bring in elements of the 70s, bring in elements of the 80s, combine them into something different. So it wasn't strictly that music got bad after the 70s, but there's a noticeable difference in lineage, and especially in song structure, composition, a musical tone, the way things were recorded. And, once again, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not to my preference. I don't like it, but that's how I approached it personally. Okay, let's get back to it.
This channel, hearing so many more songs, from
probably
awesome stuff.
Sort of an amalgamation of a bunch of different bands. It's definitely not on the heavier side of things. I would call this like early 70s in terms of style. Free, if Free was fronted by someone not as burly and macho, which once again, no offense, you don't need to be as burly and macho as Paul Rogers. None of us are. The man is a god among men. So don't hold yourself up to that standard. He's like, Leonidas 300, just like this totally jacked dude. You can't be Paul Rogers. It's fine. You don't want to be Paul Rogers. Be you. And, while I'm watching this, just a quick shout out to Brian Howe, sort of a lesser known singer for Bad Company. Unfortunately, he just passed. If I Needed Somebody by Bad Company, just phenomenal, a great ballad from the Brian Howe era. So just a quick shout out to him as I'm thinking about Bad Company singers, as I was mentioning Paul Rogers there. It is hilarious if I get a copyright strike on this video for reacting to some dude to react to stuff. That would be hilarious. Will it happen? It might have.
Oh my god!
Oh man, I love
a very like 70s bridge there. Just excellent, nice little rhythm.
Think about that.
Not the bridge.
What is it?
The pre-chorus. The bridge would be like usually in between the last chorus and it's like usually a big change in the music, either dynamically chord, like something like that. This would be a pre-chorus, at least in my head, like right before the chorus.
Okay.
Rhythm change. All right, so I gotta respond to that. A lot of you in the comments are just like, this guy's an idiot. He doesn't know what a bridge is. He doesn't know what a pre-chorus is. These are reaction videos. They're unscripted. Sometimes your mind will be like, you mean to say pre-chorus, you say bridge, and then everyone at you in the comments, and they're like, you're such an idiot. I know what a pre-chorus is. I know what a bridge is. You were right to correct me. Like, you guys did it in a classy way, but some people in the comments have been like attacking me for not knowing the difference. I meant to say pre-chorus. So nothing against Andy and Alex there for correcting me. I just want that to be clear. But I'm saying I know what a pre-chorus is. I know what a bridge is. Honestly, that's like the main reason for me doing this reaction. Like, I don't know how much I have to say about this entire thing, other than you guys are very pleasant gentlemen, and it was great chatting with you. But yeah, it was really just to defend my honor of knowing what a pre-chorus is. I meant pre-chorus. I know pre-chorus. I write pre-choruses. I write bridges. I know what they are. Yeah, so really this entire reaction is just to save me from that embarrassment. Okay, let's keep it going. Yeah.
Point. So utilizing like pop style hooks, and then the second thing.
Okay, so utilizing pop style hooks, I think it goes back to the first point of don't be afraid to pull from other styles. Like whether it's pop, whether it's modern like R&B, if there are reasons people listen to them, find those reasons, boil it down to an essence, and put it into your music.
Huh.
Like I don't know, put it in. Like if you, like take the awesomeness of classic rock.
You make it sound so intuitive though. You know what I mean?
Well, I thought of it when I was doing it. I was trying to think of, like, I'm obviously more mathematically inclined.
Yeah.
And so I remember vividly like sitting with a notebook and like going through like how did Guns N' Roses make Sweet Child of Mine sound good? And like literally had like a whole notebook of like what is the guitar doing at every point? How does it lead in? Like what is the vocals doing? What is the bass doing? Do they change it? Like trying to figure out like obviously there's a craft, there's like creativity, but it is a craft.
So you're all over different genres, finding nuance that you like, and then when you get your own song together and you just grab nuances from all these different areas and find it in a package where it just sounds
At least I'm trying to. I feel like whether I fail at it or I don't, it's like that's my attempt.
Good. You have a solid success rate from what I've heard so far.
Well, I appreciate it. What was the second thing you said you were talking about?
Oh, how bands will play for themselves rather than for the listeners.
So, real quick, the way that he approached the craft of learning music is actually very similar to what I did, where I would listen to a song and just analyze the components. Like, what is the theory here? Why does it sound good? What's, the production on the guitars? What's the reverb? How is the melody playing against the chords? What is the, phrasing of the chords? How are all the components working together? What are these transitions? Why does this sound good? Why does this sound muddy? Why do I like, why do I like Rat? And why do I not like Tool? What is the difference? And so, deep dive, dissecting, looking at these things, is how I, cut my teeth musically and learn how to do stuff. And so it's very cool that we have that in common. As far as the pop hook thing, what I feel like older, rock acts, hashtag not all. The thing is, it is okay to have like a catchy sing-along chorus, and I think that's not necessarily a modern pop influence. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Carly Rae Jepsen. I mean, shoot, call me maybe. That's my jam. So it's not that I'm against modern pop, but I think having pop hooks in your rock music isn't necessarily grabbing from modern pop influences. It's just older rock bands had pop hooks throughout, and just being catchy is a pop thing. And so I think that's very healthy and good to have composition-wise. And I think it's also important to, branch out and listen to other genres. So, this is Rocker Reactions, and I listen to a lot of rock music, but I love all different kinds of music. I love R&B. I love soul. I love funk. I used to be in an orchestra. I've done a lot of different kinds of music. I've done jazz. I listen to Japanese video game instrumental music from video games I haven't even played that I probably won't ever play because I'm so busy. So there's so much great music out there, and to limit yourself to one genre I think is unhealthy. There are, not unhealthy, but just, not for me. There's a lot of great stuff out there, and there's a lot of stuff that I don't care for. But I feel the point I'm trying to make is that pop hooks aren't foreign to rock music, and I think that they ultimately mix songs better most of the time. Exceptions, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, back to the video.
Sometimes.
I think that's super intuitive that he brought that up, because it's something that I think it's really easy for younger musicians to get into. And I'm lucky that I had a lot of people who are older, more seasoned, like veteran musicians, like that I was around, that talked me kind of out of that. Because they also, I had a friend called Marty that always used to call it musical masturbation. Huh. Like, you're just playing for it's just self-pleasing. Like, whether if you're playing this like 15-minute guitar solo or playing these crazy like odd meter time signatures, there are ways to make that work. But it's really tricky.
You gotta be tasteful for the listener.
Yeah. So like you think Tool, weird like odd meter time signatures, but they do it in a way that is pleasing to the listener. Crazy guitar solos you can think of.
He mentioned Tool. Hey, it's a band that I just think is, you know what? I don't remember what any of their stuff sounds like. I remember listening to their stuff like, once every 5 years and it not working for me. So, yeah, probably suggest Tool in the comments, because it will be a really fresh reaction from me. And I think he's about to talk about Rush. Rush is great. Love Rush. Top 10 band.
Pretty much anything of Rush with crazy guitar solos.
Yeah.
Steely Dan.
But still always tasteful, always like audible at the same time, easy to digest.
Yes.
I love it.
So I will say that little breakdown right there was the most, I'd say, modern part of the song. One of the things that
I know about that.
Totally agree. We didn't have it written when we went in the studio.
Really?
Yeah, I'm always
Wait, we had a cool vocal melody. No words? Oh no, just a melody.
Yeah, I always was like a fiend for the studio, and this was one where somebody offered to record us for free. They were like, it was like, I don't know, like Full Sail or some university that was like, hey, we heard your stuff. We really want our class to like work with an artist. Can you come in and we'll record you? We'll teach you. We'll give you the raw tracks. You can produce it somewhere else. Really cool. I'm always the type to be like, all right, let's bring the new stuff we have. Let's bring that in.
Yeah.
And I remember Chad was like not happy about it. He was like, dude, we don't have it. It's not even done. We don't have it. Like, I'll figure it out.
You figured it out apparently.
Yeah,
On the
apparently.
spot. That's crazy. Okay.
Just fun to think about.
used to irk. Yeah, man. So I usually pay for studio time, so I'm not as much about hey, let's improvise something right now. I'm very much an architect when it comes to my songwriting, so I know how the drum part goes. I know how the bass line goes. Like, it's, maybe a flaw of myself as a songwriter in that some of the musicians I work with maybe feel a little bit stifled creatively because I'm writing out each individual part. And, there is something about that, spontaneous creativity. And that's not to say that it never happened in the studio for me. But, yeah, like the other bandmates, I too would have been in sort of shock and horror, like, what do you mean you don't have this part ready? And then just, but if you have the studio time, go for it. And that isn't necessarily what you need to do as an artist. And so with that section right there, that was more akin to something like a Foster the People-esque breakdown.
Dude, I want to play D&D with this
which
guy.
sounded good. It sounded good. So about D&D, I played it once, and I hated it. Now, that said, I was playing a very terrible campaign where everyone was level 1 goblins, and I'm like, this is the worst game I've ever played in my entire life. I hate this. I love JRPGs, and I love a good fantasy story, and I actually I'm working on a fantasy novel. And I used to do group storytelling, but I didn't like with D&D. I didn't like the amount of power like chance and rolling the dice had on things, because in my mind I'm like, oh, we could just tell a really good story, but instead that interactivity aspect and that chance just made the story often get derailed and just become less good narrative wise. And so as a storyteller, D&D just kind of annoyed me. But my buddy who I played the game with recommended that I just play with a better group, and he said, no, that group was trash. That's why you didn't like D&D. You had a bad first impression. So I'm still technically open to it, but yeah, the one time I played D&D was not a fan. Sorry.
So how do you feel about just his interpretation of like you bring in that modern element and how the way his approach was just to stay pure to the classic rock, not really include modern influences, because he didn't want to be like the artist that had a bunch of modern influences, but like a tiny bit of like classic. So how do you just feel about that topic?
As far as the bridge of it, it wasn't purposefully meant to be modern. It just felt like that true to how I write. That just felt like what I would do.
Pulled a lot of stuff back, brought it down to the basics, still like a little progression, little kick drum, and then just kind of pulled a little vocal melody super smooth in the mix.
Yeah. But I do think, to his point, like I said earlier, I think it's something that a lot of bands try super hard to just be classic rock and shun any modern influences. And I think a lot of times it can be to their detriment. Not always. I mean, you can have bands that don't use that. I just think the bands that are pushing forward now, at least in my mind, are the ones that
are adapting.
Yeah, that take from that old aspect and bring something new. Like even other artists in other fields. Like I think like Lana Del Rey. Lana Del Rey feels like an old artist in the way she sings and some of her like songwriting, but then she's bringing some of this modern production.
So real quick on that, I think that writing naturally is very healthy and often very good for an artist, especially if you're just good. And like Kings and Culprits are, where it's a very natural process. What I want to say about like most people don't consciously cut out influences. Most musicians, especially when they start, just kind of go with the flow and write what they like and don't consciously think, well, this sounds, too early 2000s, this sounds too 90s. Like most people don't do that. It was a very conscious decision on my part because I just didn't like the songwriting craft and the way pop songwriting, or rather pop rock songwriting, had headed over the last several decades. I will say that I think in my opinion, 2000s rock was much better than 90s rock. I think emo was much better than grunge. I think the new wave of Sweetest Sleaze was a very excellent musical movement. And as far as the current state of rock, oh boy, it's getting hot in here because I'm probably about to anger some people in the comments. I do believe that generally that rock as a mainstream musical force is mostly dead and irrelevant. And so the rock bands that are pushing forward, I feel like there's not enough of them to really make a dent. There's a ton of great bands out there. But as far as like the big bands, you've got Greta Van Fleet, the Struts, and Ghost, essentially. And that's kind of it as far as like big rock bands. Maybe Nickelback, or like bands that have, but I'm talking about like the last decade really come into the forefront of just general music knowledge. And so I feel like, in my opinion, rock bands, I think, moving away from pop hooks, especially in the era of the 90s, this is just my opinion, moving away from a lot of the previous established pop hooks and that lineage, allowed a place where rap, R&B, and traditional pop was of so much higher quality than the mainstream rock and metal that was coming out, that it effectively replaced rock and like slowly caused its gradual decline. That's just my opinion. Take it or leave it. But that's kind of what I see happening, is that You just had rap and R&B and pop that was better than the rock that was coming out, and there was such a gap in quality that I think that's what led to rock essentially becoming mostly extinct, aside from a couple outliers. Um, that's not to say there isn't 90s rock that there's some 90s rock that I love. Smashing Pumpkins is an incredible band, so, hashtag not all, but that is sort of where I see things, and I know he's getting into the comment of, mixing in the modern influences with the older, rock sounds, and that, oh, you can, get these different sounds and different production techniques. For me, I guess I'm always about what plays to the strength of the song, and I feel like in general, modern rock bands are more focused on production and less focused on writing a good song, which is conveniently not the case with Kings and Culprits. So went off on a tangent there. Throughout this video, I have been editing so that you don't just see me sitting there not saying anything. So hopefully this will be a nice change of pace. Yeah, so I actually edited this one for you nice folks on the YouTubes. But yeah, let's keep it going.
To make her not feel old. And so it's mixing like the classic with the modern that I think you find a cool new balance.
And if you really think about it, almost all 70s artists did that same thing. They innovated the genre that came right before them, like the super bluesy roots, like all that. They really propounded it by making it more harder, whatever.
I think it's a smart thought. Is like,
and I mean, that's what I tried to do with my band was I didn't want to just stay the same. I didn't want to be just a classic rock copy band, which a lot of people accuse Greta Van Fleet of. I'm not getting into that. My goal was to take the sounds of classic rock and rearrange them into something new. That was still like a logical next step, next progression, without bringing in the modern influences. That was the goal. And, for those wondering, when we did that on the first album, it went really well for us. When we brought in a lot more modern influences on the second album, it didn't go as well for us. So what does that mean? Man, I don't know. I'm just reacting. Let's keep going.
if you're trying to be classic rock, well, what classic rock did is take from what came before and use modern things like overdriven pedals or new effect pedals or new vocal stylings.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
It's like, so they're taking the modern elements of production at the time and mixing in some classic elements.
I am very much not a gear guy. Most gear talk, makes me roll the eyes in the back of my head because I'm a singer songwriter primarily first. I play guitar. I play piano, and I'm familiar with the importance of gear in terms of production. Getting good guitar tone, different pedals, different amps. I did a film score recently, and knowing how the different instruments play with each other in the mix. So I recognize that, but for me, I'm always it's the most boring part of the music process. I'm much more concerned with writing and melody. What are the lyrics? What's the melody? What does it make you feel? The other stuff, it's very important, but it's the part that I feel, in my opinion, I feel musicians, in hashtag not all, a lot just get lost in the weeds of that, and they're so busy just like talking about just like, oh yeah, I use this kind of pickup, and they forget that writing is like step one. Step one is write a good song. Which, luckily, Kings and Culprits just understand writing a good song and they have the good production. You need both, but it's like you need an engine to drive a car. The great song is the engine. Without that, you have nothing. That is my opinion. All right, let's keep it going. The thing is, I'm not like how do I say this? I'm not like a super fan of the channel. No, it's just like I'm not. I didn't do extensive research. I see a few of these guys' videos in my feed. I like them. Their commentary is pretty cool. But I don't know too much about them necessarily. They seem nice, and I want to feature lesser-known acts on my channel. So, like I said, I've seen a handful of these guys' videos, and didn't really have any prior relationship with them until doing my reaction video and then chatting with them. But I will admit, I have a weird, potentially bad habit of just like finding people I think are cool and then forcing them to be my friends. I've done it with a number of people, a number of like famous musicians and like actors and just people who I just think like that person seems pretty neat. I want to hang out with them. Other YouTubers, and just like now they're just part of my circle of friends, and it happens enough where it still always amuses me. Where I'm just like, oh yeah, that random person I think is cool. Like I'm probably gonna hang out with them, and then I do. It's kind of one of the most fun things about being a musician is going on the journey of life, the different people that you meet and interact with, and just developing sincere relationships. Like, I have had the lucky opportunity to, meet or interact with, in some degree, basically all of the musical heroes that I wanted to. Um, like, I'm really into all these classic rock bands. Like, I've met a lot of these guys. I've had chats with some of them. I'm friends with some of them. Uh, you know, uh, Rory Dodd, one of my favorite rock vocalists ever, singer on my favorite album of all time. I'm friends with the guy. We chat about the Beatles, and so I'm never. I always appreciate the blessing that I've had in the interactions and friendships that I've made, and I am very much looking forward to continuing that. It's a real blessing, and I've already started developing friendships with different YouTubers, different podcasters. It's very cool. I just like making friends, journey of life, friendship, shonen anime, yeah, power, friendship, Naruto, all that stuff. Yeah, I that was just a long way of saying friendship is cool. Thumbs up. More often, because every major artist was a lesser known act at one point, and there are so many great songs that never really see the light of day. So, maybe my channel will blow up, maybe it won't, but maybe someone scrolling through the videos will see this and want to check it out and see what it's all about. And so, hopefully this encourages you to give more music a chance. And as a fellow classic rock revival artist, I salute what you're doing. I wish you the best of luck. If you ever just want to talk shop, let me know. I'd love to just have a chat as someone who's done a similar thing for many years. We've done that. It was a great chat. There will probably be more chats, but yeah, good chat. And offer the advice and things to avoid the mistakes I made. What not to. I'll start the things that worked really well and what to do. Yeah, wish you guys. All right, things that work well. Writing awesome hard rock. Good idea. Writing a joke song about food in 7/8 did not go as well for me. Okay. Piece of advice number 1. I listened to too much Queen and made too many joke songs, and Americans didn't get the jokes. So yeah, bad call on my part. It's all the best. Maybe you'll react to one of my songs and make me look bad. But seriously, wish you all the best. Don't react to the food song, or maybe react to the food song. If you did react to one of my songs, probably our most well-received song is The Flash. So if you look up The Flash by Lipstick Generation, that's our most well-received song. We've got music videos for 3 of our songs, a song called The Conan Song, a song called Chala Head Chala, and a song called Eyes of Love. The latter 2 are covers. But yeah, The Flash is our most well-received song, and the song about food is Gotta Eat When You Can. But I'm not here to plug my band. I'm here to react. But I'm reacting to me, Reactception. It's so dumb, but also amusing. I am amused. I am thoroughly amused. I hope you are amused. Good stuff. Thumbs up. A+ song. Keep it up.
Damn, A+.
And you can like, comment, subscribe, all the things. That is the video. Thank you so much. And cut. And one more thing about the A+ song. I'm like the Randy Jackson musically, and a lot of my friends where I'm like, yo dog, that was great, and I'm like super encouraging, and I'm willing to give a lot of songs A+ and A's. I'm just a generally positive person with music, so if I'm like A+, I give out a lot of those, but there's just a lot of A+ songs out there. So yo dog, it was great. You got a lot of heart.
Dude, okay, so he's at like 19 subscribers right now.
Yeah.
He seems so incredibly genuine. I really he could have hated on my song and that would have been fine. I really loved the way he backed up his information. Can we get him to 1,000 subs? Dude, everybody go down there, follow the link, there'll be a link in the pinned comment. Go subscribe to him. I mean,
he deserves some stuff. Honestly,
he
in
really
terms
does.
of his content, maybe not just reactions, but from what he said, a keyword that he said, mistakes I made when I was, doing this.
Yeah.
He can make videos and content pretty much based on, things he did, like in, his early days in Spanish, as he progressed, things he learned, the 8 things I wish I did when I first started my classic rock revival band.
True.
Like, that could be a really cool content idea, and I don't think there's a lot of people in that market. It's kind of niche, so maybe you could, do that.
And overall,
like that.
he just seems so genuine, and you can
Very
tell.
cool guy.
I think a lot of the reason people enjoy our reactions, or at least what they told us, is that we're both musicians, and they can see that in our reactions. I'm telling you from a songwriting perspective, even if he never said in the whole video, I'm a songwriter, it comes across he's a songwriter because of the things he's saying, like the doubling of vocals and certain things that you don't know unless you've thought about them yourself.
Yep.
So
100%.
awesome. He seems super genuine. He made me laugh. Like that was great. Can we get him to 1,000 subs, please?
100%. All right. With that being said, awesome channel. See you guys on Wednesday's video.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so sorry for not being funnier this time around. It's my first Reactception, which is kind of it's a new genre of YouTube. but lots of kind words. It's changed both ways. Once again, at the heart of it, it was a great song that I thought it'd be fun to react to, and I'm really glad because looking at the comments, a lot of people in the comments didn't know the song, and so it's a great chance to give original music and original content a bit of a push. So I'm so glad that I was able to do that. Yeah, and once again, thank you guys for the plug and pushing the channel. It's super cool, and yeah, I'm looking to forward to reacting to a whole bunch of stuff. So yeah, let me know below what you guys want me to react to next. I will do more reactceptions if you want, but songs. It doesn't have to just be rock. I have my expertise in rock, but I have some blind spots. 90s rock, I'm not as much of an expert in. Metal, basically anything after the 90s, at least in terms of rock and metal, you might be able to get me much easier. Anything before 1990, I probably heard it unless it's obscure. I've got a pretty deep musical knowledge. But if it's rap or R&B or whatever, I'm open to like expanding my musical knowledge, engaging in conversations with you, just developing this channel, developing a community. Thank you guys so much for doing the liking, doing the commenting, hitting the bell icon, and hopefully you enjoyed this video and enjoy the future videos. Thank you all so much. Have a good one. Peace.